Enid Blyton, Fun Time Storybook. The Strange Doll. Doreen was very sad. She had a lovely baby doll that could shut its eyes and could say "Mama" quite plainly, and now the doll was broken. It wasn't really Doreen's fault. She had put it on the table in the kitchen just for a moment whilst she went to get her doll's pram, and Mummy hadn't seen it there. She had put down a tray of dirty cups and saucers, and the doll had fallen off the table. Her pretty face broke into pieces, and both her legs broke too. Doreen was very much upset and cried bitterly. "Oh, Mommy, can't she be mended?" she asked. But Mommy shook her head. "No, I don't think so," she said. "She is too much broken. I'm afraid I can't buy you another doll just yet, darling, because I really haven't the money. You must wait for your birthday." "But that's ever such a long time away," said poor Doreen. "Oh, Mommy, I shan't have a doll to take out in my pram now." Doreen put the broken doll in the pram cupboard. Then she put her pram away, but when she took hold of the handle, she thought she would go down the lane to the farm and back again. Even though she had no doll in the pram to wheel along, she would just pretend. So off went the little girl, wheeling her empty pram. She went right down to the farm and then just turned to go back again. Just as she turned, she heard a little whimpering noise. She looked round to see where it was. By the side of the lane, huddled under the hedge, was a puppy dog. He was crying sadly all to himself. Doreen went over to him. "What's the matter?" she asked. "Poor little puppy dog, you are unhappy." The little dog whimpered again and did not move. "Come along," said Doreen. "Come along. Don't sit under the damp hedge. Come out into the road and let me see you." But still the puppy did not move, so Doreen picked him up gently, and then she saw that he was hurt. One of his legs was bleeding, and he held it up as if it hurt him very much. "Oh dear," said Doreen, "you're hurt. How did it happen? Did a farm horse kick you, or a motor car hurt you?" The puppy whimpered again and licked Doreen on the face. He thought she was a dear, kind little girl. She put him down on the ground and tried to make him walk after her, but he was very much frightened and would not move a step. Doreen remembered that dogs have their names on their collars, so she took hold of his pretty red collar and looked at it. On it was printed "White Cottage, Elmer's End." "Oh, you belong to Mrs. Harrison, who lives at Elmer's End," said Doreen. "Oh dear, that's a long way away. I wonder if you can possibly get there." The puppy yelped. He was trying to tell Doreen what had happened. His mistress had driven her car to the farm that morning, and just as she was leaving again, he had jumped out and hurt his leg. Now he was too frightened to do anything at all. "However can I get you back?" said Doreen, patting the soft little head. "Oh, I've got such a good idea. I'll put you in my doll's pram, puppy. My doll broke this morning, poor thing, and the pram is empty. You'll fit in there nicely because you are so small. I think I can manage to walk all the way to Mrs. Harrison's." She picked up the puppy dog and put him gently into the doll's pram. He snuggled down on the pillow happily. It felt like a soft basket at home. Doreen pulled the covers over him and told him to go to sleep. And so tired and frightened was the poor little puppy that he really did close his eyes and fall asleep in the pram. Doreen was so pleased. "It's almost as good as having a doll," she thought. Off she went, wheeling her pram carefully so as not to wake up the sleeping puppy dog. It was a long way to White Cottage, where Mrs. Harrison lived. The little girl's legs were very tired long before she got there, but she didn't stop for a moment. She did so badly want to get a puppy back to his home and tell Mrs. Harrison to bathe his leg and wrap it up. At last she came to White Cottage. Mrs. Harrison was in the garden cutting roses. She looked up in surprise as she saw Doreen wheeling her pram up the path. "Good morning, dear," she called. "Have you come to show me your baby doll? What a long way you must have walked. You look quite tired." She went over to the pram and peeped inside, and how astonished she was to see a sleeping puppy there, her own puppy too. She stared and stared. "Why, it's Sammy," she said. "I thought I had left him behind at the farm and I was going to fetch him this afternoon." "I found him just near the farm with a hurt leg," said Doreen. "I hadn't a doll in my pram today because it got broken this morning. I was very sad about it because Mommy said it couldn't be mended, and she can't buy me another doll till my birthday. So I took my pram out empty, and it was a good thing I did." "Really, because you see, when I found poor Sammy, I could put him into the empty pram and wheel him all the way home to you. I think his leg wants bathing and bandaging, Mrs. Harrison." What I had to do there was then. The puppy woke up and tried to jump out of the pram when it saw its mistress. Its leg hurt and it yelped. Mrs. Harrison called for warm water and an old handkerchief, and soon the little dog's leg was well bathed and had a nice clean bandage on. He really looked quite proud of it. "Well, now, my dear, it really is time for your dinner," said Mrs. Harrison, looking at the clock. "Good gracious, it's past 1 o'clock. Your mother will be worrying about you. I'll run you and your pram home in the car." She took out her little brown car and popped the pram into the back seat. Doreen sat in the front, and in a very little while they were back at Doreen's home. Mrs. Harrison explained to Doreen's mother how kind the little girl had been. "She tells me her baby doll was broken this morning, and that was how it came about that her pram was empty and she could take Sammy back to me," said Mrs. Harrison. "I was sorry to hear about her doll. Do give it to me, Mrs. White, for I am sure I can get it mended for her. I know a doll's hospital in the next town. I can get a nice new head and 2 new legs put on, I'm sure." She took the doll away with her, and will you believe it, in 3 days she brought it back again, quite better. It had on a lovely new head, just as nice as the first one, and 2 beautiful fat legs. The doll smiled at Doreen, who hugged it and kissed it in delight. "Oh, thank you, Mrs. Harrison," she said. "You are kind." "Well, you were kind first," said Mrs. Harrison with a smile. "It's funny how things happen, isn't it? Your doll got broken, so you took your pram out empty and found Sammy and put him into it, and I was pleased and heard about your broken doll and wanted to get it mended for you. So your bit of kindness has come back to you and made you happy, I'm glad." But the gladdest person of all was Doreen, as you can guess. Hi, if you like this video, please give this a like and hit the subscribe button and click the bell icon to get notified whenever I release a new video.